Well, hello, welcome back. AJ O'Neill here again. And in this section, I'm going to show you how to actually get Larix set up on your phone with your stream URL and key so that you can broadcast your service live. What we're going to start with before I do that, I just want to go over real quickly again how to get the stream URL and key. All this information, churchofjesuschrist.dev. You can search for the segment on YouTube Live, and that will give you this whole document that's got this entire process outlined. But this is the quick, easy process piece. We're just going to go to youtube.com, and from there, we're going to click sign in. So someone has to have given you access to the account via your Google address, your Gmail address. But because it's asking me which channel I want to select, I'm going to select the Elders Quorum channel that I've been working with in this series. So now up in the upper right-hand corner, you just want to make sure, again, you go down to switch account, and then you make sure that you are selected on the channel that you're setting up the live stream for. From there, you go back up here again, and now you're going to select YouTube Studio. Once you get to YouTube Studio, back up here where there's the create button, you're going to select go live. Not because we're going live, but because we need to get the settings. So it might ask you, do you want to go live now or later? It doesn't matter which one you pick. It's going to ask you, do you want to use streaming software or not? You pick that you want to use streaming software, the second option, not your webcam. If you're just using the default setting, you go to stream, and then you're going to have your stream URL and your stream key. And you just want to copy the stream URL and the stream key and text that to yourself on your phone or whatever. I actually have one set up right here that is a private test stream. So I'm going to use this. So let me go ahead and select that. And I've got a test key that's set up here. So just for the purpose of testing, I'm copying these. I actually just texted it to myself, so I'm going to switch back over to the phone in just a second and take it from there. If I switch back over to my text messages, this is where I just texted myself the test stream key, and you can see here we need them combined together. The second one where it's the URL and then no spaces, a slash, and then no spaces and the key. We just pasted them together. That's what I did there. This is the way to put it. This is the way to send it to yourself. Put it in that format where you copy the one, put the slash, and then paste the other. So now I'm going to switch over. I already installed Larix. You can get it from the App Store. It'll be called Larix or Larix Broadcaster. So both on Android and iPhone. We're just going to focus on the stream URL plus key. So you're going to hit the settings icon over there in the right. Oh, you will need to allow permissions to the video and the microphone. Don't just click cancel on those, otherwise the thing won't work, and then you got to go in settings and re-add that and all that. So one thing that I need to make sure is clear. So you're going to go under connections, and then you're going to click the plus to add a connection, and I'm just going to call this EQ Sunday. This is what I'm going to call this. And then for the URL, I'm pasting it in. Now, if you sent it to yourself as the URL and the key separately, that's fine. Just note right there, this part is the URL, and then I added the slash at the end of the URL, and then this part is the key. So that's the URL plus key together. That's the format that Larix takes it in, and some other software as well. So on here, I don't think there's anything else we need to worry about. There is no login and password because the key is the password. It's already in the URL. So we just save this connection and we're done. We need to make sure that this is checked because sometimes you accidentally tap it and it comes unchecked. So make sure that it's checked. Now, the other settings, you do need to look at video. And what I recommend, because we don't need Super HD 4K or any of that, and you want to use up as little bandwidth as possible and get the best stream possible. So I recommend setting the resolution to 720p. That's going to look good for everybody on their phone, their computer, and if they have a 120-inch TV, it'll look still pretty decent. You do want the orientation to be landscape, which is holding the phone this way. So this is normal how you do video on a phone. If you are holding the phone in portrait, it's going to look really weird on someone's computer. Oh, there's one other bit we need to change, which is I would say put the frame rate at 25 frames per second. And the reason for this is just so that even if the speed of the internet is a little bit slower, doing the reasonable quality of the 720p resolution and 25 frames per second, it's going to look great. Nobody's going to notice anything off. This isn't a Hollywood production. And it's going to be nice and fast and not have to buffer or have any issues with the stream. One other thing that is optional to change is under the H.264 profile, setting that to main. I don't know how somebody would have something still today that wouldn't do main. The other options, audio. So I went back to this listing here where we started out before we went into video. Under audio, I would say that if you have a microphone that's connected via Bluetooth or one that is plugged in, you do want to have that connected and make sure that it's selected instead of auto if you can, because the microphone is going to make the biggest difference in people's experience, much more so than the visual quality is. Can they hear well? And the microphone on the phone has got to be pretty close to the person that's speaking in order for it to pick up well, and you're going to get room echo and whatnot. So if you can use a microphone connected to the phone, you're going to be better off, and you want to make that manually selected when you can. And the rest of this, I think these are all left as the default settings. Audio channels, mono is perfect. Bitrate, sample rate, all of that just set to match is perfect. The one other thing you probably won't really need to worry about is if you wanted to record the stream locally, if you wanted to record on the computer while it's broadcasting, you could do that. Also, it does record to YouTube. The recordings, the way that I've shown this being set up, the recordings will be unlisted after the live broadcast, but they would still need to be deleted manually. No one will be able to see them from the outside, except that people that already had that specific link and the people who are managers of the channel. Display is just how the Larix software looks. These options are things you might want to play with just to make your production quality a little bit better, make sure the camera's level, make sure that you follow the rule of thirds. If you care about that sort of thing, you probably don't. And then overlays is something that is kind of neat. We don't need to worry about it, but it basically allows you to specify files that if you want to pause the recording, such as what we might want to do in Sacrament, where we start the recording, but pause it without ending the stream and just overlay a paused for right now screen, that's where that would get configured. And I do want to figure that out for our Sacrament meeting later. So I just went back out of settings. Sorry, sometimes I do things and then say them rather than say them and then do them. But I've backed out of settings. Everything is set up. It was just really those two things, I think, was the resolution and the bitrate that needed to change. The rest was just more oh, and the stream URL, of course. And then now all I need to do is press the record button, and this is going to go live. So as soon as I click start, that's when the email is going to go out to all the subscribers, and people who are looking at the channel page, that video is going to show up. So what I mean by that is let me just go back to the channel page for a second. I think I'll go in this window. Let me go back here, your channel. So people who are sitting here at the channel page waiting for the video to show up, if they're just sitting here on the public channel page, once that video shows up, once you hit record, that video shows up here. And everybody that has clicked the subscribe button, which I don't see because I'm logged in as the channel right now, but if I was logged in as someone else, I would see the subscribe button. If they've hit the subscribe button and the bell with notifications, then when that record button is hit, that means that the email goes out and they get the link with the title of the stream, which is Grove 3rd Ward, 10 a.m. Elders Quorum. So I'm going to go ahead and press record. And then what you'll see down there at the bottom, see it's saying 1.7 megabits per second. And then it's, I think, giving the total upload. Yep. And now I can see. So on my test stream, this is a private test stream. So hopefully no subscribers got an email about this. But anyway, you can see that that's working. And then when I click stop, like it's stopped now, what we can see is that the video is no longer available on the channel page. So it's become unlisted and it's no longer streaming if we're looking at the stream monitor. So there's one other thing I want to mention. Oh yeah. So let's say that the stream URL is bad. It's copied and pasted bad. I'll show you the most common thing. So I went into settings, I went into connections. I'm going to click manage. This is, oops, let me also switch this back. So we got a cleaner background there. So I'm going to click on manage, and then I'm going to click on the connection. This is a little convoluted to me. And then I click edit. It seems that I should just be able to click edit on the thing. The most common problem is there will accidentally be a space in the URL, which thankfully with the keyboard that it gives me in the app, it wouldn't actually let me make that mistake. So I'll just put in an extra letter here. I'm just going to put in Z. Okay. So now I have a wrong stream URL, or a wrong key, rather. The URL is still correct. So now if I hit record, what we should see, notice it's staying at 0 megabytes per second. And then in a few seconds, it should flash red and let me know, yeah, see, it failed to connect. So if you get that, most likely it's either the internet's not connected, so you might have to, if there's one of those screens that pops up and says you need to accept to continue, you might need to do that. The other possibility is that you maybe put a space in the URL for the stream key or something like that. So that is how you set up Larix on the phone. I hope that was pretty plain and simple. Let me know your thoughts, any questions or comments you have. Just leave right in this video in the comments down below, and I will address those. And yeah, so I hope that was helpful for you. Thumbs up if you got them. Adios.